Arthur, once a tyrannical king who ruled the world with an iron fist, slaughtering enemies and nuking cities all for power, suddenly feels overwhelmed with guilt. Just as he starts to reflect on his atrocities, he drops dead from a heart attack. But before he can descend into the abyss, a mysterious voice offers him a second chance at life, warning him not to mess it up this time. Arthur opens his eyes to find himself in a completely new world. He's been reborn as a baby. His new parents, Reynold and Alice, are over the moon, speaking excitedly about their newborn son. Arthur, still processing his situation, can barely wrap his head around the fact that he's back to square one, trapped in a tiny baby body. He's helpless, can't speak, and involuntarily soils his diaper every few hours. It's a far cry from the almighty king he once was. But things get even weirder when he watches his father, Reynold, channel some kind of mystical energy into his fists and smash a boulder to pieces. Arthur's jaw drops. He's been through countless battles as a king, but this power is something he's never seen before. It's a huge feat, and Reynold is proud of himself. But his show-off moment goes wrong when a rock falls on his head. Alice rushes in, healing him with some sort of magic, warning Reynold to be more careful next time. Arthur is stunned again. Magic. That's a whole new level of weird. As the days pass, Arthur realizes that this world is much more dangerous than he thought. People carry weapons as a matter of survival, and Arthur knows he's going to need to learn how to fight if he ever wants to live freely again. But life as a baby isn't all bad. Arthur discovers the joys of peaceful sleep, something he never got to enjoy in his past life, where constant assassination attempts kept him on edge. Now, he can sleep without worrying about anyone trying to kill him in his sleep. Small victories, right? Months go by, and Arthur's limbs grow strong enough for him to move around on his own. He's not thrilled about being a baby, but he's starting to figure things out. One day, Arthur escapes his crib when Alice isn't looking and sneaks across the house, making it all the way to the library. There, he starts reading books about the world he's been born into. He learns that the continent he's on, Dickon, is divided into 3 kingdoms: a dwarf kingdom in vast cave cities, an elven kingdom in deep forests, and the human kingdom, where he now lives. Arthur also learns that the technology in this world is limited due to the existence of magic. People manipulate mana within their bodies to enhance their strength, agility, and defense, called augmentation, or they can project it out to control phenomena called conjuring. It's all very familiar to Arthur because, in his previous life, his power was similar to the concept of mana. He figures if he can focus hard enough, he might be able to develop this power for himself. Just as Arthur starts focusing his energy, trying to unlock his potential, Alice catches him. She's worried sick because he's not in his crib, but is relieved he didn't hurt himself. She doesn't seem to notice the magic forming inside him, but she does notice he pooped his diaper again, which is an ongoing issue. 2 years later, Alice is writing in her journal, thankful that Arthur is growing strong and healthy. But there's a problem. Arthur still hasn't smiled. She's starting to get concerned. Just then, she looks outside and sees Reynold giving Arthur sword lessons. Alice, of course, flips out. She's not about to let a 2-year-old swing a dangerous weapon around. Arthur, on the other hand, is learning that it's best to stay on Alice's good side to avoid getting into trouble. He's starting to understand that, while his life as a baby is limiting, he's much safer here than in his previous life as a tyrant. To take his mind off things, Alice decides to take Arthur into town for a little outing. Arthur's excited. It's his chance to gather more information about this strange world, how the weapons look, how magic works, and what kind of people live here. He even gets to see a mage casting fire magic in person. It's an exciting day, and Arthur absorbs everything he can. By the end of the day, though, Arthur is exhausted. His baby body just can't keep up with all the action, and Alice, seeing this, decides it's time for a nap. Arthur got the short end of the stick in life, dropped into the world like a player without a starter kit, forced to grow up in an orphanage, missing out on all the love a kid should get. So, being reborn into this new world with parents like Reynold and Alice is a nice change of pace. It's not perfect, but at least he's got a shot at real care this time. One evening, Arthur falls asleep on Alice's shoulder, and she carries him to his crib, talking about how proud she is of him. She's noticed how he sneaks out of bed to read books, how excited he gets when he sees the outside world, and she figures he must have inherited his adventurous spirit from Reynold. Alice wants Arthur to live peacefully, but she knows one day he'll probably want to explore the world on his own, and she'll support him no matter what. The next day, Arthur watches Reynold practice magic outside. Reynold shows off his ability to make rocks float, which seems impressive until Arthur realizes it's pretty basic. Reynold's strength lies in augmentation, using magic to enhance his own body, not conjuring like Arthur thought. Inspired by his father, Arthur tries to train, but just as he's about to climb down, Alice swoops in to tell him it's nap time. Arthur can't speak yet, so he starts whining. But Alice is firm, no reading today, just sleep. Little does she know, Arthur has mastered the art of pouting as a weapon. His baby cuteness wins again, and she lets him have his book. Alone, Arthur practices with his mana, which he's gotten pretty good at over the last couple of years. With just a little more focus, he figures he'll be able to cast his first spell. But things go way too well, and he accidentally blows up the house. Alice and Reynold, thankfully, were outside when it happened, but Reynold's back gets badly burned in the process. They rush inside to check on Arthur, who, to their surprise, is completely unharmed. Not only that, but Arthur is the source of the explosion. At barely 3 years old, this level of magic shouldn't be possible. Yet, here he is looking proud like a little wizard in training. Unfortunately, Arthur forgets that the house is crumbling around him. When 2 beams fall toward him, he tries to run, but his baby legs fail him. Just as he's about to be squashed, Reynold and Alice rush in to save him. This is the first time anyone has ever risked their life for Arthur, and the experience leaves him stunned. Seeing Alice crying out of relief, Arthur starts crying too. He's still not used to this whole being cared for thing. In his old life, Arthur would never be doing something like this. Back then, he was a king, cold, ruthless, and allergic to mercy. A guy once tried to assassinate him. The man got caught, and the royal council immediately went full evil overlord, sentencing not just the guy, but also tossing his wife and daughter into a torture camp so horrifying it would make a horror movie director blush. The man begged Arthur to spare them, swearing they were innocent. So Arthur, in what he considered a kind gesture, killed them quickly himself. That was just a regular Monday for him. Now, his Mondays involve sparring with his dad, Reynold. Today's lesson, gauntlets. But Arthur's not feeling it, he wants a sword. Reynold humors him, buffs up his blade with mana to keep things spicy. What he doesn't expect? Arthur doing the same and slicing Reynold's sword clean in half. That's when Reynold realizes, oh no, I'm out of my depth. He heads inside to talk to Alice. Reynold suggests sending Arthur somewhere better suited to his freakish talent. Alice shuts it down. The plan was simple. Reynold teaches him to fight. Alice teaches him magic. But Reynold points out the obvious: Arthur just split a magic sword as a child. They need help. Alice agrees he's gifted terrifying, but she doesn't want him far away. The argument heats up until Arthur says, "Why don't you just come with me?" Silence. They hadn't thought of that. Suddenly, it's the perfect plan. Next day, a carriage rolls up. Traveling with them is an adventuring group Arthur remembers from when he blew up the house, the Twin Horns. First is their cheerful leader, Adam. Then Angela, who skips greetings and bear hugs Arthur. Durden, the quiet tank, saves him with a chill high five. On top of the carriage is Jasmine, striking a cool warrior pose and saying nothing. Finally, there's Helen, the sharp-eyed archer. Everyone piles in. Alice asks if Arthur's excited. He says yes, but thinks, carriages? Seriously? I used to ride in flying cars. After a long ride, they stop to set up camp, and a pack of wolves tries to crash the party. Bad idea. The twin horns wipe them out in seconds. Arthur is hooked. It's the first real fight he's seen, and now all he wants is to be strong enough to join in. Dinner is simple, just grilled wolf meat. No seasoning, no sides. Classic adventure fare. While cooking, Alice notices a cut on Reynolds' arm and moves to heal it with magic until Jasmine stops her. Healers like Alice are rare, and casting healing spells in public is basically asking to get mugged. Once Alice finishes discreetly, everyone relaxes and digs into their wolf meat dinner. That night, Adam suggests a light spar against 4-year-old Arthur. Sounds insane, but Adam's heard the kid's freakishly strong and wants to see for himself. He powers up his spear. Arthur casually does the same with his sword. The match starts. Arthur vanishes with wind magic and reappears behind Adam, only to slip and wipe out mid-strike. Toddler legs meet momentum. The fight's short but intense. Arthur ends up airborne, and the others scramble to catch him before he kisses the dirt. They all yell at Adam, who swears he wasn't going full strength. Arthur's just that strong. Then Jasmine strolls over, impressed. She wants to learn the wind boost move. Arthur hesitates. It's a trick from his past life, but her death glare says she's not asking twice. Next morning, they're back on the road. During a break, Adam gives Arthur a crash course in spears. Helen tosses in some archery tips. Feeling generous, Arthur teaches Jasmine the wind trick. Mix wind magic and mana in your feet for instant speed. She gets it first try. Later in the carriage, Arthur quietly reads while Jasmine just stares at him. The next morning, she hands him a knife. A personal gift. Jasmine doesn't do friendly, so yeah, Arthur's left an impression. They hit the road again. Arthur's reading when Bam ambush. Bandits surround the caravan. Their leader gives a disgusting order. Capture the women and kids, we'll sell them. The twin horns and Reynolds leap into battle. They're skilled, but the bandits just keep coming. Mid-fight, the leader knocks Reynolds hard into a carriage. He's badly hurt. Alice rushes over to help, but Reynolds stops her. If she uses healing magic, she'll become a target. Instead, he tells Arthur to run and take Alice with him. Arthur refuses until Reynolds drops the real reason. Alice is pregnant. Everything shifts. Arthur understands. When Reynolds gives the signal, Arthur grabs Alice and uses wind magic to escape. Reynolds holds the line. Adam and Jasmine cut through enemies to clear a path, protecting them. Arthur isn't running from danger. He's running for someone for the first time ever. Eventually, it looks like they're safe. They're not. A rogue bandit up on a cliff casts a wind spell. Arthur sees it too late. No time to dodge. He shoves Alice aside and takes the full hit, blasting him off the cliff. At that height, it's fatal. But Arthur doesn't go down alone. He hurls Jasmine's knife, nailing the bandit and dragging him down too. Spells fly. People scream, but Arthur's already falling, and he's not afraid. He's not thinking about pain, just about why he jumped. Not for power, not for pride. For love. His only regret as the ground rushes up. I just wish I had a little more time to be part of that family.